It's time to sit back and check out the RCWR show with Lee Sanders. Get fun, in-depth coverage and analysis from the latest in professional wrestling in AEW, WWE, NWA, Impact Wrestling, or the world of entertainment. From hit TV shows to your favorite sports like the NBA or NFL. All things music, movies, and beyond, while trying to make sense of this crazy world we live in. All while keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive since 2011. And now your hosts, live from the nation's capital of Washington, D.C., Lee Sanders.
Weird, very weird. Some weird streaming issues going on right now. You guys should have been watching the video intro, nice, cool, and crisp. And for whatever respected reason, I had a whole bunch of lag going on at my end, and my internet is fine over here. I'm opening up different browser tabs and all that. Let me at least do an audio check, see what's going on, see how it's sounding here. I had a whole bunch. That's weird. That is weird. What's up, y'all? Anyway, it was nice and smooth for you guys. Yay, what's going on, my pretty babies? Lee Sanders with you guys. You're checking out an all-new Monday night edition of the RCWR show for December 2nd, 2024. God, it's getting hot in here, man. It's getting hot in here. I got my heater on, and I'm overdressed right now from head to toe. Usually, I like to wear a nice top. I'll wear some sweatpants or some shorts. Hell, sometimes I even do the show in my boxers. It's okay to break that wall, people, right? It's okay. But I am like from head to toe overdressed. It is just warm, because I got this heater on. So first things first, let's go ahead. Let's turn this heater off because that's going to help me focus a lot better. Ooh, Lord have mercy. Otherwise, you will see your man sweating like a dog in a few minutes because this room gets real hot when I have that little small heater on in here. Hey, how y'all been? Hope y'all been fantastic. Now, for those of you that might have been able to join me on the air earlier this afternoon, I actually did my live campus radio show. I streamed it live in its entirety on X/Twitter. So if y'all hadn't checked that out, you're definitely more than welcome to. It was nice chatting it up. And we went through just so many fun topics on that show. I enjoyed doing it. It's really, really a lot of fun. And from what I was able to understand, I've got 2 more of those that I'm going to be doing to close out the semester. And then that's pretty much going to be it. And I'm going to be graded like all the shows that I've been doing so far for campus radio. I'm actually being graded on those, but I've received fantastic feedback from my professor letting me know, hey, I'm on the right track, keep it rocking, keep it rolling. So that's exactly what I'm going to continue to do. What did you guys think about tonight's Monday Night Raw? Sound off, let your voices be heard. Got the poll up there on X, Twitter at the RCWR show, also on youtube.com/the RCWR show. Click on the post section and cast your vote. We'll look into it later on during the show. Nice solid episode. We're definitely going to be talking about tonight's Monday Night Raw. I'll give you guys my afterthoughts now that it's been a day or two removed from WWE Survivor Series. Give you all my final thoughts about that one. Look at the polling results as it stands for that Survivor Series event. We're talking some sports as well. How about what went down there with Azeez Al-Shaair and Trevor Lawrence? That hit that pretty much was heard all around the world. James Harden delivering a dominating and historic NBA performance. Also, some Nikki Garcia, Nikki Bella news. I mean, we're going all over the place. We got some movie news. We're going all over the place on this edition. So you definitely picked a really good night. Also, your man was trending throughout social media websites and stuff as some things that I had to say about a NBC reporter. Basically, I trended as a result, and my stuff was picked up by several major media outlets that included the New York Post, Washington Post. I mean, it was just whoa, what the heck is going on here? So if you don't know about that, we'll definitely get you guys caught up to speed on all of that. Hey, look, tonight's Monday Night Raw. I think we can all be in agreement for those of us that saw the Survivor Series event. This 2 hour edition of Monday Night Raw was loads better than that event. It was loads better than that Survivor Series event. Tell me when I'm telling a lie. Okay? Tell me I'm telling a lie. Loved it. Loved it. I mean, this was a very story based driven edition of Monday Night Raw with great emphasis on emotional context. And I loved it from every single standpoint of character and story development that we were fed. I mean, take your pick. I mean, to even have that bit of investment of interest in the women's Intercontinental Championship match, too. You're just going, wow, all around, what a great show. CM Punk, we heard this earlier in the afternoon, was going to be opening up the show. What's going on with CM Punk here? Probably he's going to tell us what's next. I got to tell you guys, I was under the impression CM Punk was going to come out and he was going to call out John Cena. I thought for sure he wanted to be among the first to kick off John Cena's 2025 farewell tour with a bang. I was under the impression that's what we were going to get from him tonight, but instead, we saw CM Punk alluding to the fact that maybe he wants to finish his respected story, teasing the whole idea of going to the Royal Rumble, winning it, or maybe going to Elimination Chamber, winning a key match, and pretty much setting himself up for WrestleMania. I found it interesting that he named those two, and we knew that he was also talking about WrestleMania, even though he did not say it out loud. You're going, oh, okay. So CM Punk, oh, all right. He wants some world title. He's tasting gold right about now. All right. All right. Oh, we liking this. And then that music, the cackling and all, Seth Rollins coming out. Every time CM Punk hears that Seth Rollins music and his facial physical expressions, I love it. I love it because and even tonight, he was at his pinnacle here because you can see him clear as day cursing under his breath at the fact that Seth Rollins is pretty much interrupting his mojo. I loved it. I loved it to get a very serious demeanor there from Seth Rollins, who's like, yo, I've been distracted. You've been pretty much distracted. You know, you've been doing your thing while I was defending world titles and all that. And now here we are. No more distractions, nothing in between us. Should have done what I wanted to do the very first night, but I held back no more. What I should have did the first night that I saw you when you returned was drop you on your ass. Seth Rollins literally trying to pick up this feud right where the two men left off. CM Punk, on the other hand, letting Rollins know, yo, kid, you've been thinking about me for the past 6 months. Funny, because I ain't been thinking about you these past 6 months. I'm on to bigger and better things. You ain't part of that. So, sad but true. I mean, those words definitely stung, right? But Rollins coming right back like a champ and letting CM Punk know, yo, you talk too much and wouldn't take no for an answer. Try to get physical with CM Punk, two of them. Did a little bit of rumbling before officials came in there, broke things up. Oh, that's good. That's good. I need this right now. Let me tell you something. When I did, and those that watched the live campus show, by the time the show was over, I damn near blew out my vocals. I mean, I had the raspy voice and all that. Wasn't coming under the weather or anything like that. It was just that's how much energy I had brought for the live show. And it was just kind of one of those. It was really, really bad. Still a little scratchy. I'm having a nice cup of throat comfort honey tea that is doing the trick. So you guys got to forgive me if I take some sips here and there. I'm trying to do what I can to make it through the show here. But a nice back and forth there between CM Punk and Seth Rollins, without a shadow of doubt. Great, strong way to open up Monday Night Raw. And I did not catch this. If they advertised it, y'all let me know. But I must have missed it. Apparently, tonight's Raw came to us commercial free there for almost the first, I would say, 50 minutes, give or take. I was not expecting that whatsoever, because I know at one point I looked at the clock and I'm going, wow, we're past the 15-minute mark. And normally it's about time for a commercial right now. And they just kept right on going and everything. But nice back and forth banter between Seth Rollins, CM Punk, literally picking up where they had left off so many months before. We then, as all this rumbling is going on, Sami Zayn and Jay Uso, came out to separate both respected men. Sammy trying his best to hold back Seth Rollins, Jay holding back Punk. And you see Rollins, he's going, yeah, yeah, Punk, yeah, Uso, yeah, go ahead, run back to Roman Reigns. That's what you do best. Go back to Roman Reigns, run back to him. Sammy, not really feeling that. He's like, yo, don't be talking about Jay like that. Like, come on, man. Why you gotta do that? Seth, yeah, okay, I hear you. But what's your excuse? Because at least Jimmy and Roman, at least they're family. What the hell are you? So now you're looking at this going, wow, we got an instant acne feud going on here between Rollins and Zayn. Okay, this is some nice, and man, the vitriol that was just coming from both guys. Oh my God. I love that. I ate it up with a spoon. And to just see how this match would materialize and take place for our main event tonight. Beautiful, beautiful the way it was all handled. I love the fact that Sammy pretty much pulled Seth Rollins' card and said, hold up, homie, hold up. Not once, but twice. Your ass was approached to team with us to take out this new bloodline faction, but you ain't want to have nothing to do with us. So, Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins, how you gonna spill sour grapes when you got first dibs and you shot it down? Rollins coming right back. Yo, nah, I was not, after everything I had vowed to do to take down Roman Reigns and the bloodline and to team with you guys to essentially help him regain power. Yo, this dude ain't changed his stripes one little bit. Has he apologized to you? Has he apologized to Jimmy and Jay? Has he apologized to the fans? Has he shown any shred of human decency? Some type of reflection? Some type of remorse? No. So why the hell should I team with you guys to help him? Because ultimately the end game of this is going to be Roman gets back power. Like, no, I don't want this guy back in power. Kidding me? So I love that whole back and forth banter and everything. Sammy letting Rollins know, look, everything that became of Roman Reigns all had to do what you did to that man 10 years ago. Rollins coming back, yo, I've paid that price in full 10 times over. I've done my atonement. So, but like, you want to talk about me betraying, like, you be that same MO. So it's almost a case of, yo, don't, if that's not a case of calling the kettle black, like, seriously. And I brought this up a couple of weeks ago. I got to continue to stress it. how much longer until Kevin Owens cross paths with Zayn? Because you know he's going to lay his ass out. And Owens is going to be justified. You think about when Owens was going after the bloodline and all that drama that was going on months back, and to ultimately see Sammy join forces with the Usos once again. You know, Kevin Owens, just the storyline alone, he can't be taking that. He's got to be observing that going, what the hell? I'm looking forward to the day where we see Owens destroy the living hell out of Sami Zayn. Keep that in the back of your head, because when it does go down, there's going to be so many people that's going to be going, why? Why, Kevin Owens? Why? And it's like, I'm not even going to be like, why? I'm going to be like, it's about damn time. And it's going to be justified. I mean, if you really take a step back and think about it, it's going to be justified in everything. So, solid main event match between Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins to close out this edition of Monday Night Raw. Kind of another one of those cases for the most part where most of the matches that was on the card was just a tad bit short. But as far as the quality goes, quality was definitely there. No doubt about it. Quality was definitely there, particularly in the main event match. Your main event match, by the way, went about 9 minutes. But a nice solid matchup. Of course, one of the biggest mysteries going into this main event: who shot you? Who took out Jey Uso? Because Jey Uso, we find him a couple of segments before the main event match. I guess somebody jumped him. I mean, they literally pulled a SmackDown, a SmackDown 2 Know Your Role. Who attacked the superstar in the parking lot? Like, curious minds want to know. And it's not like Jey Uso was knocked out. Jey was on his ass, rubbing the back of his head. You got Adam Pearce and everybody. Who did this to you? What's going on? What happened? And Jay's not saying a word, so you're looking at that. And I know that we had some people from the other night like, oh, CM Punk, how about a CM Punk turn? And it's like, wait a minute, we got to make sure that this is really justified as far as like, it has to make sense if you're going to flip the guy. It's got to make total sense in the here and the now. And right now, you're still riding that Punk babyface wave, tweener wave. Ride that out to where it needs to go. So it's one of those, okay, well, who else could it be? Some names that I had running in my head was Bronson Reed. Maybe Bronson Reed was behind this. Maybe the Bloodline was behind this. And my long shot pick was Drew McIntyre. When it was all said and done, I never went all in and cashed my chips in on Drew McIntyre. And we still don't know who exactly attacked Jey Uso. But it's safe to say it was probably Drew McIntyre. Why am I bringing up Drew McIntyre? Well, because at the end of our main event match, Sami Zayn looking on very frustrated that he got his ass handed to him by Seth Rollins. And, he just looked beside himself big time. And then next thing you know, he turns around. For whatever reason, he turns around. Maybe he heard something. I don't know. But he turns around. Next thing you know, wham, kick to the head. And the way that kick was delivered, and it's the littlest things as far as the attention, the detail, and all that, which I really appreciate. I got to give it up to the commentators, because as soon as they saw that kick, the commentators were like, yo, that was a Claymore kick. Could it be? Is that Drew McIntyre? I love how they didn't insult the fans' intelligence. They're like, wait, only one person we know that does a damn Claymore kick. It's Drew McIntyre. And sure enough, hoodie comes off. It's Drew McIntyre, laid out Sami Zayn to close out Monday Night Raw. Yo, I love drama. And I ain't talking TNT. Yo, that was good. That was some good stuff right there, right? Yeah, I was very curious going into tonight's Monday Night Raw. Okay, is Great Value Bloodline truly done with the OG Bloodline? Like, where exactly are we going now that Survivor Series is in the books? Is this somehow going to continue on? Like, or are we going to take a brief breather as we get ready to head pretty much into the Royal Rumble season? And we kind of got our answer as all things are kind of in a holding pattern right now, as certain superstars are branching off into different directions. But as I like to refer to things like this that's happening right now, make no mistake about it, what's happening with some of our favorite superstars, it's nothing more than a little side quest that they're doing right now. But the main quest, they're still going to get back to that. So I still see Sammy. I still see Jay as far as bloodline versus bloodline. We're still going to, incorporate, right? Everything's still going to circle back to that. We're just doing some slight detours right now. And that's okay. It's all right to take those detours, take a little breather and all that. So the fact that we've got Sammy doing a detour into Drew McIntyre, oh, that not only is that going to be a really great program, fam, but talk about the ultimate bad guy and Drew McIntyre taking out the most appreciated workhorse in the WWE, the super over babyface that is Sami Zayn. What better way to take Sami Zayn to even greater heights than by having him work a program there with Drew McIntyre? That is going to be some good stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing what those guys are able to do in the coming weeks, but very, very promising. And here's the other thing that I love about this too. It feels very fresh that we've got Sammy and Drew locking up. It feels very, very fresh. So I can't wait to see how flushed out this gets and everything of a rivalry. And look, as far as Drew McIntyre taking out freaking Sami Zayn, I think it's quite simple. I think there is a great resentment from Sami Zayn and basically how he, essentially went over and got help from the voice of the voiceless, CM Punk, for starters. I definitely think there's that. But then there's also that part of me, that feels Drew's been kicking back on the sideline, just taking notes on certain superstars and everything. And there's probably a part of him that literally is looking at Sami Zayn and going, you, like, this is all your fault. Everything concerning CM Punk, like, it just feels as though he's going to find some type of a way to justify attacking Sami Zayn when it's all said and done. And it's going to make a lot of sense to us at home, right? We're going to be like, well, yeah, he's not lying right there. It's going to make a lot of freaking sense why he's doing this. And I'm there for the ride. I'm there for the ride, but I don't want to. Here's the thing, and WWE needs to be careful here. Let's not have our bad guys become sympathetic characters. Okay? It's all right if we understand where they're coming from, why they're doing what they're doing, but we don't need that sympathetic aspect. We can leave that to the side, right? Just give us just enough meat on the bone. Okay, yeah, this makes sense. This is why we're going in the direction we're going. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's do it. Go. Other fantastic drama that went down on tonight's Monday Night Raw. New Day celebrating 10 years, was their 10th anniversary. Speaking of anniversary, did you guys know we just celebrated 13 years of the RCWR show 2 weeks ago? We had a 13th anniversary special. Webcast version of that is available on demand, also available wherever you get your podcast. Just search the RCWR show. New Day celebrating 10 years. We see Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods come out there, and you're going, where's Big E? Surely Big E is going to be a part of this, right? Or are we wrong here? And Xavier Woods, Kofi, they start teasing the idea of, hey, it's been a fantastic ride. You fans have rocked. We appreciate you. We love you guys. But in light of what's been happening these past several weeks, especially what went down last week, Kofi, Xavier had a serious talk, and they were about to drop the bomb that they've decided to split up. You mean Daryl Hall and John Oates is no more? Like it literally was about to go down like that. But then we see Pastor E, Big E, come on out there. That was a nice suit that he wore too. I'm looking, going, wait a minute, are we going to a funeral here, or like, we're going to the services? Because if we're going to the services, all I want to know is, where's the potato salad? Where's the fried pork chop? Who made apple pie this week? Right? Who made the apple pie? Or pumpkin pie? Okay. Who made it? Who made the mac and cheese? Because every time you go to a black service and all that stuff, come on now, don't act like y'all don't know what I'm talking about. Every time you go to a black service, there's always some mac and cheese and fried chicken, fried pork chop, mashed potatoes, all that loveliness. We see Big E come on out there. Big E, not ready to see these guys throw in the towel just yet. All the history, all the memories. And he brings up his health status, saying he's not medically cleared, because if he was, this would be an entirely different story. But he tells them straight up, until the day comes where he does get medically cleared, in the interim, he's going to be there for them every single week as their manager, rooting them on, encouraging them. All right, so you're going to be a big brother. Okay, you're going to be a big brother. You're going to uplift. You're going to empower, enlighten, and strengthen. And okay, great. That's great. I'm hearing this. I'm going, well, so far, how about what I have been saying off and on these past couple of weeks, and how things could probably turn out with Big E here and the Backfire? I was on the right track there, but I went a step further and said maybe they could do something where Big E is attacked. They don't have to show him being attacked, but they could definitely show something a couple of segments later where maybe he's laid out or whatever. But I did, if y'all were paying attention, I felt in my bones there was going to be some type of betrayal there on Big E. Let's not lose focus of that. So I was in the right realm. And the way WWE handled this, chef's freaking kiss, because they did it with a nice twist. Did not see it coming. And to those that happen to see this coming, yo, I owe you a drink, because that is some deep, multi-leveled, multi-layered type of thinking, type of booking that WWE went here. And WWE is really proving to us that as far as long-term storytelling goes, storytelling that makes sense and all the right seeds being planted and everything, it's like when you go back, they're giving you these breadcrumbs of, it's interesting how, it's right down to the point. I remember months back going, interesting that Big E isn't kind of overlapping here with New Day and some of the issues that they've been having, and how he's not seen chatting it up with them. What's going on here? Like, are they not taking each other's calls? Or do they just keep missing each other? What's going on here? Every single man in this segment tonight, my hat's off to them. Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Big E, kudos to all of them. They played their roles brilliantly in this segment tonight, especially Big E coming in there. It was almost like watching your favorite band, comedic act, whatever. Damn, like, I don't want to see these guys break up. And you're seeing that one member of the band, the one that is definitely the glue, the emotional one, the one that always makes sense out of, right? And you can relate to that because you have that one friend that you know of that's part of your little clique, that without them, pretty much the rest of your group, it just essentially crumbles, because they pretty much are the glue that brings it all together. To see Big E in the emotional state that he was in and letting his brothers know, nah, man, not on my watch. I can't let y'all go out in flames like this. So I'm going to come back. I'm going to be a manager for you guys. And that is where the twist comes in because Xavier, Kofi, wait, now? Wait, now? After everything that went down all these months, now you want to offer us help? Now you want to try to come in here and salvage this? Like, after all the damage has already been done? It's like, dude, are you serious? And just when we thought things was maybe just gonna pause right there, Kofi, Xavier, digging that knife. They didn't even have to do it to the back of Big E. Nah, they put that son bitch while looking at his face. They put that son bitch in his gut. They let him feel that. No, 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 no. Let's be real here. You know, you broke your neck or whatever was going on, surgery, didn't get surgery, whatever. It's like, but so what? So what if your neck's messed up? Stone Cold Steve Austin came back. He broke his neck. Kurt Angle broke his neck and he came back. Hell, Edge broke his neck and he came back. I love that they just evoked the name Edge. I gotta admit, I popped hard. I'm a mark. I admit, I popped hard hearing that. I said, "Oh shit!" Especially given the fact, and here's why I really popped. I popped over the fact that, remember, it's like maybe 2 weeks ago, news rounds around the cooler was Edge had the copyright. WWE went on ahead and nope, that copyright, that's ours. That Edge name, that trademark, yeah, that's ours. It's like just when you thought maybe Adam Copeland was maybe going to somehow get that back and just thinking about things from a marketing, merchandise perspective. WWE said, nah, we keeping that bad boy. Nah. So popped hard hearing Edge. They mentioned all these great names. Hell, the only other name that they missed, they didn't mention Saraya, Paige. Paige broke her neck too, essentially. And look, she's wrestling, right? So all these people having some type of neck issue, and they all came back. And yet Big E, and they called Big E out. Ooh, that was spicy. I loved it. They called him out. They said, do what you do best. Go back to your little desk. Go back to your new girlfriend. Go back to your new way of life. Like you've been doing all this time. We don't need you. Oh my God. And they were justified for it. I mean, I know the crowd was booing Kofi and Xavier. But if you're really taking a step back, this is what I'm referencing. Remember earlier where I said, look, we don't need to feel sympathy towards, especially if we're supposed to look at somebody as a bad guy. We don't need that sympathetic aspect and all of that. Now, they borderline teased it here with Xavier and Kofi without going full throttle. And I appreciate the fact that they didn't went hardcore all in on it. Just the fact of, look, when we needed you most, you weren't there. You ain't know how to pick up the phone, hit us up, none of that crap. When we needed you the most, you weren't there. Yeah, you might have had, their whole thing was, and I really wish and they kind of danced around it. But if I had one little bone of contention, I wish it could have been one of them bring up the fact that, hey, look, when you had your neck issues, yeah, we were there for you and everything. But brother, look at what happened once you were able to start walking around again, working out and all this other stuff. All of a sudden, Wayne exists to you. I wish they kind of went there, but I wish they really, really just would have just let no stone be unturned. Defiantly let it be known. Yo, we kept thinking about you. We kept trying to do things for you. It just wasn't reciprocating right? When it was all said and done. So I loved seeing them pretty much tell Big E, kick rocks. And you've got Big E just standing there. It's like that. We're gonna end it like this. It's over. It's like that. It's like that. Just like that. And it's like, yeah, it's just like that. Yeah, yeah, hell yeah. Loved it. Good stuff. Xavier, Kofi, deciding that all they needed was each other. So this is really weird, isn't it? Because if you really stop and think about it, Biggie technically did save New Day there tonight, but it came at a cost. Them realizing their worth and their value, right? Believing in themselves and essentially going, yeah, Big E, like, dude, we don't need you. Like, bump this. Maybe this new mean streak that they have, because it seems like now they both are on the same page. Maybe now with this new mean streak that they have, maybe some positive results will come out of it. Maybe it truly is a new day for New Day. We'll have to wait and see. But I just find that so ironic that Biggie appears to save the New Day. He accomplishes it, but it comes at a cost, which is him being outcast essentially from the group. That is just, I love it. I forget it almost has a Fleetwood Mac type of vibe to it. If you really stop and think about it, you think about the drama there with Stevie Nicks and oh my god, just that whole, just I'd be here all night just going over all of that drama, or damn, why won't Robert Plant get back with Jimmy Page and just go freaking do a new Led Zeppelin album, go tour, and it just, I love it. Good stuff, good drama, good stuff right there. Best highlight of the night. Meanwhile, Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan teamed up and defeated the team of Io Sky and Kari Zane. Tag match. It was about 4 minutes and change. Some solid stuff. It was okay. It was all right. It was all right. Sorry. Decent little stuff that they had there. Post match, Raquel Rodriguez, Liv, they're on the attack there, continuing on there with EO and crew when Rhea Ripley's music hits. Rhea gets into it briefly with Raquel. Doesn't really go that much. Pretty much a follow-up from what had went down that Survivor Series, basically, between these two girls. Right down to the point, we got it advertised for next Monday's Raw. It's going to be Rhea Ripley, Raquel Rodriguez, one-on-one. So we'll see what happens with that one. Meanwhile, we also got to see a Intercontinental Championship tournament match. First round, Dakota Kai versus Shayna Baszler versus Katana Chance. Dakota Kai picking up the win. What was really heartbreaking about this match is the fact that the match was maybe about 8 minutes long, but guess what? Half of the match during a commercial break. I think they did maybe a picture-in-picture, not really sure, but yeah, that's how you take a little bit of a dip there as far as the quality and all that stuff goes. I'm a little bit surprised that Shayna did not advance. Now, look, who knows? Who knows? Maybe somewhere down the road, but I mean, I could definitely see Shayna Baszler as an Intercontinental champion. That's what I'm basically beating around the bush about. I could definitely see it happening, but I thought for sure, as far as potentially crowning the inaugural champion, I thought for sure Baszler was going to go deeper into the brackets, but it seems this go round, Triple H and crew, there is a new focus there on Dakota Kai and everything. All right, let's see what happens. So Dakota Kai advancing to the semifinals, if I'm not mistaken. Also coming up on next Monday's Raw as part of the women's Intercontinental tournament, we're going to see Zelina Vega versus Ivy Now versus God, what was the third girl? Zelina Vega, Ivy Now, Lyra Valkyria. We're gonna see the three of them. So just thinking ahead, putting a spoiler out there, you would think Lyra, right? You would think Lyra Valkyria should be advancing. I mean, we just saw this repackaging video of her a couple of weeks ago talking about, hey, it seemed like I was off to a great start, and then I kind of hit a ceiling there, and not this go round. I'm back and I'm better than ever, right? Okay, so let's see what happens here. I would think she would win and advance. We'll have to wait and see how everything plays out going into next week. I can't wait to find out how that New Day segment does on social media. That should be bringing in a decent amount of numbers. My fingers are crossed. Dominic Mysterio versus Gunther non-title matchup. This pretty much was a result of Finn Balor coming up to Gunther and saying, hey, yo, I pretty much saved your ass twice now. Don't you think you owe me a championship? Gunther going, you know what? You meddled around in my business too many times, as far as I'm concerned. And well, what went down over the weekend, I was looking forward to taking on Damian Priest one-on-one. Didn't need your help. Didn't want your help. Didn't ask for your help. I wanted to prove without a shadow of doubt, with everything that was going on between me and Priest these past couple of weeks, that I was the better man and I rightfully should be the champion. You messed all that up. You getting a title shot? No. What have you done lately? Your boy Gunther, on the other hand, your boy Dominic Mysterio, on the other hand, he did something that you couldn't do. He beat Damian Priest. So if anything, he should get a match. So Dominic, man, fun matchup. Look, we already know how this was pretty much going to go. Gunther with the win. Post-match, Balor attacking Gunther, laying him out big time. Y'all guess as good as mine what's going on with the Finn Balor this go round, man. But it really comes off as if there is a new focus. There is a new direction, right? There is new meaning. There is some substance here in regards to Finn Balor. It almost feels like we're trying to get Balor back to basics and everything. And look, I will say this. I appreciate the fact that we've now separated Balor, at least for the time being, away from Damian Priest. But I don't think that honeymoon period is going to last that long, because as we have found out, due to the actions of what went down here between Gunther and Balor, we find out that Balor is going to be getting a world title shot against Gunther. It's going to be happening at Saturday night's main event. Now, I don't know about you all, but I kind of have this feeling that that match, either it's going to have a special guest referee, and that special guest referee is going to be Damian Priest, or when it counts the most, eye for an eye, and Damian Priest pops up, screws the hell out of Finn Balor out of that world title shot. Priest, Balor pick up where they left off. So we'll wait and see how it plays out. And remember, that's going to be happening on Saturday night, December 14th. I sadly will not be watching that live in real time, because I will be attending a Christmas party with my wife. Every year, her bosses, they do these bomb ass Christmas parties. You can drink all the booze you want. It's like it's unlimited. It is unlimited, the amount of booze that you can drink. It's good food, good music, all that good stuff. I know I'm trying to think, where did they do it last year? I think last year they did something in Georgetown. When I hear this go round, they're going to be doing something. I got to find out exactly because my wife told me once, and it just honestly it went in one ear and out the other. But I remember her saying they were doing a new venue And it was like really, really, because she told me the name of it. I think she ended up showing me a couple of pictures, and I was like, oh, wow. But I can't remember it now for the love of me. So I'm not going to be watching that in real time. Maybe what we could do is come on maybe sometime early Sunday afternoon and maybe do a post show that way. I'll poll you guys and find out how you guys want it. R-Truth picking up a win over Pete Dunne, the Mind Games. Pete Dunne just look, it's R-Truth, man. I love R-Truth, right? I mean, he pretty much did him the same way he did Miz, right? Roll up, win, all that. I mean, this dude is a master of smoking mirrors and shenanigans and all that other good stuff. Ludwig Kaiser crossed paths with Braun Breaker. Kaiser wanting a title shot, boasting over the fact that he said he was going to take out Sheamus, and that's pretty much what he did. Breaker going, yo, you want a title shot? Hey, all you have to do is ask. I'm down for it. You got it. So we're going to see these two lock up. I think that's going to play out next week, or maybe it's going to happen on Saturday night's main event. And that pretty much was it for Monday Night Raw. A very strong episode of Monday Night Raw. Very, as far as the wrestling goes, matches didn't even crack 10 minutes. Okay. But did you have some substance in there as far as your story arcs go? Yes, without a shadow of doubt. I found myself to be very interested in the IC tournament for the women's. Good quality all the way around, I gotta say. Let's see how you guys voted here for Monday Night Raw. Let's go to X, formerly known as Twitter, at the RCWR show. See how y'all voted over there. I'm seeing 18% of you said it was a average show. Meanwhile, 81% of you said it was a awesome show. Appreciate you guys that cast your vote. Chick Magnet Enthusiast had this to say: Raw is heating back up. Hopefully, this doesn't mean SmackDown cools down. So very, very valid point, because usually it kind of flip-flops, doesn't it, folks? Right? It usually, yeah. Now we got to see how SmackDown pretty much tops or matches what we got from Raw this week. Very good point. Another point of observation I want to bring up here in regards to Big E, because I had asked you on social media, is it true? Because when Big E came out, Joe Tessitore and crew said that it's been 4 years since we'd seen Big E on Monday Night Raw. And I'm like, wait a minute. That can't be. Like, are we sure about that? Is that accurate? And apparently it is. It is accurate. Big E not been on Raw up until tonight. Been 4 years. I mean, that is just insane. That is just insane. Let's see what you guys had to say on YouTube. YouTube.com/the RCWR show. Click on the post section. Let's see how you guys voted over there. Survey says we got a tie at 50%. Half of you said it was a average show. The other half of you said it was a awesome show. But I will put an asterisk by our YouTube poll. Let you guys know I am still seeing early voting that's happening right now, at least on the YouTube's end. So usually YouTube picks up overnight going into the next day. That's where it really picks up, which, by the way, I did not get a chance to talk about this poll enough, and to the point I didn't even get to share the results. But there is a poll. It's an exclusive X/Twitter poll that's up right now. And I want to know, you could pretty much say it's a live campus radio poll. So go ahead and vote. You guys got about 12 hours left right now. I want to know, were you able to find great deals on Black Friday and or Cyber Monday? So go cast your vote. And just to help you guys find that, I just reposted it. So when you go on my account, that should be the first thing, at least one of the first things that you see that has been reposted and everything. So check that out when you guys get a chance, and vote. Blow it up, vote. See, where else? Where else do we go from here? So I tell you what, while we're talking about casting your vote on polls and all that other good stuff, here's where we can switch it up a little bit. First up, is this it? Let's go into this bad boy. So for our audio listeners, you definitely want to be checking out the webcast stream right about now, as we are at the 50-minute mark of the broadcast. That way you can go check out the webcast stream. You'll know exactly where you need to go. So this bad boy that came in the mail here, this is from WWE Shop. And I decided to take advantage of a sale that they had going on, as I was peeping out some new merch. And I decided, oh, well, you know what? Let's see what's going on with CM Punk. And since I'm going to be getting into the ring, for those of you that maybe missed it, I made the announcement a couple of weeks ago. I'm actually going to be training to do a boxing match in 2025. And my training is pretty much going to begin the day after my birthday, because I'll pretty much be training for like the next 10 months. So I'm going to have to be on a strict diet, all that other good stuff. So my family, once they found that out, I'm not supposed to know this, but apparently everybody's going, okay, gear wise, what are you getting him? Okay, are you going to get him boxing gloves? Okay, well, if you're going to get him boxing gloves, I'm going to get him, this, I'm going to get him this duffel bag so he can put his gear in it. Well, if you're getting that, I'm going to get, so it's just, I'm not supposed to know any of this. Shh, right? I'm not supposed to know any of this. But I thought, okay, well, some of the stuff that I'm going to need, I'm going to need some like workout shirts and stuff like that. So I got this. Wow, I feel really bad that I'm going to be working out in this shirt. Maybe I should grab a second one. Maybe I should grab a second one. Oh my God, I feel so bad now. New CM Punk shirt, tank top. There we go. Check that bad boy out. Maybe put this more towards the camera here. There you go. And I'm kind of relying on my other screen so I can see how it's going here. How badass is that? There's nothing on the back. For those of you that's curious, there's nothing on the back. This is badass. I love it. I love it. Great material. Boy, I tell you, nobody makes shirts as good as WWE. Although the pro wrestling crates, they are definitely, at least at the time when I was collecting them, because y'all remember, I used to collect the pro wrestling crates for, my God, what was it? Like a year straight that we did, doing all types of reviews for them and all that. There was some really good stuff that came out of it. And then after you do a whole year, it just pretty much kind of repeats itself, sadly, but you'll get something different from each go round. So what do I mean by that? So basically, if in the first year of the mask you had got up for grabs for Luchador month, you got a Rey Mysterio max, you pretty much were guaranteed that the next rodeo you weren't going to get another Rey Mysterio mask. You were going to get something else, right? So it's just kind of cool the way that they kind of kept track of little stuff like that and everything. But yeah, so got that. I got another CM Punk shirt that is actually on the way. That's a tank top as well. I think it's a sports jersey version. I think those of you that's been playing around on the shop site, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. That one is pretty cool. I'm not going to be getting that one until later on this week. I'm estimating probably Thursday or Friday. I'm seeing, actually, no, Saturday is when it's supposed to get here. So we'll definitely show that off on next Monday's show for sure. So, hey, check this out. That That is a really good shirt. I want to look at that one more time. That is. Would y'all like to see it one more time? Let me show you guys this shirt one more time. This is like it's like really good. Let me look at it real good first though. I didn't really look at it good enough. That is really good. That is really good. What is on the website? It doesn't really justify what you actually get here. I mean, I'm really sold on the material. This is some damn good material, man. I'm telling you, some damn good material. I love that. I wish they would have put something on the back. They would have put maybe the 5 stars and the fist on the back. I definitely would have been sold on that, but it's all good. All right, so let's tackle a real serious topic real quick, and then we'll lighten the mood. We'll get into some more wrestling news, definitely some sports news, all that good stuff. And of course, if you guys got a wrestling, non-wrestling related question, you could definitely pop it in the chat, all that good stuff. And of course, if you guys been enjoying yourself so far, make sure you hit up the likes, all that good jazz. Really helps put more eyeballs on the content and all that good stuff. All right. I can like literally see the chat right now. So you will get your acknowledgement as I will acknowledge you, and you can see your name and your comment in the stars above on display for the entire world to see and all that great stuff. So we got to rewind this back for those of you that did not check out the live campus radio show from earlier today. Your man right here ended up trending on social media as New York Post, Washington Post, journalisms.com, dailymail.uk. I mean, it was ridiculous. So Thanksgiving Day, little small get together, friends and fam, me and the wifey, we decide, we want to do our best to keep it relatively quiet, very chill. We're making a nice little small dinner. We have these great turkey cutlets, and this go round, we go, well, let's see what we can do with grilling them. All right, we'll season it up and put them on the grill, grill them up and everything. Mashed potatoes, mac and cheese. We went very, very conservative. We didn't go all balls out, right? Biscuits, all that stuff. So me and her were taking turns in the kitchen. And at one point, I decide to sit down and watch the news. Stay with me here. This is you're gonna find out why I ended up trending here, right? So I'm watching out here in Washington, D.C., our NBC affiliate station is WRC TV4. Okay, NBC. So I'm watching the 4 p.m. news. There's a reporter who I have a ton of respect for. His name is Leon Harris. Leon Harris, for years, he was doing this thing over on CNN. Then eventually he came over to DC to cover the news for WJLA ABC 7. And he was over there for a good minute. And I thought it was so weird that ABC decided not to renew his contract, not to give him a new offer. I thought it was weird that they just let him go. But I thought it was a great pickup, assuming they would pick him up, and I ended up being right. WRC TV4, NBC, they ended up picking him up and everything. And Leon Harris, I looked at this guy and said, man, if anybody could be a really good successor to Jim Vance, well, first off, there's only one Jim Vance. But if you're going to have a successor, Leon Harris, definitely that guy. Wears his suits extremely well. Fantastic way of pronouncing, enunciation. I mean, he does a fantastic job making you feel a certain way about a story. And it's very, very conversational. He does his best to not be robotic about it. Love that about Leon. This broadcast, however, on Thanksgiving, I'm looking at Leon, and he is fumbling with his words. Now, you'll hear me from time to time. I wish I could say it's nervousness, but sometimes I'll just get so excited about something. I'll like that, but I just did that on purpose. I'll maybe have, like that. Leon, however, was repeatedly just, 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 and he was also slurring his speech big time. And I was noticing, the broadcasts from last week and the week before. Oh, what's going on with Leon? Is he all right? Seems like maybe he's reading the teleprompter kind of funny. I wonder if the other reporter beside him is going to have the same problem with the teleprompter. Go to the next reporter. No, they're able to read the teleprompter just fine. I'm going, what's going on here? Leon's condition is getting worse and worse. He barely takes us to the 15-minute mark of what is supposed to be an hour-long news broadcast. So after almost 15 minutes, there's a commercial break. And when they come back, we get this pre-recorded segment. And then it goes into the news. And we get this meteorologist who we never see usually at this time, but it's a Thanksgiving holiday, so we understand. But he's there. He's doing the weather report. It's a extended weather report. We're like, okay, there's a commercial break. The weatherman comes back and he's going at it again with his weather report. And at this point, you're going, where the hell is Leon? Is Leon okay? What's going on here? The meteorologist goes, hey, we know that many of you, and I put out a tweet right before the meteorologist said what he said. And I want to make sure that this does not get taken out of context. I want to make sure I read this word for word. Easy for me to find too, because everybody's been retweeting the hell out of this. But I basically said, NBC, check on Leon Harris, exclamation point. And then I at NBC Washington, check your guy. Pray he hasn't relapsed again or dealing with addiction off of that foot injury. Pull him and get him some help. He looks unkept and struggles to read. I know the signs, folks. He's dealing with some form of alcohol/substance abuse. And the photo that I shared, and I mean, you look at it, he does look disheveled. He looks unkept. His collar and tie. I mean, usually when you see Leon Harris, he is immaculate with his presentation. Mustache, his hair very nice and trimmed, and right. It's like, wait a minute, wham, is this dude okay? What the hell's going on? So that's what I posted. And we see the meteorologist again. You had Leon barely make it to 15, commercial break. Meteorologist comes in, does an extended weather report, commercial break. Weatherman comes back, extended weather report. And then the meteorologist goes, we are aware of you all's emails and phone calls concerning Leon's health. We just want to let you all know that Leon is okay. And we'll see you right back here at 7:30. And it's like, he's okay. What the hell does that mean? Did you take him to the hospital? Did you what kind of an update is this? Like what the hell's going on? So of course now you're trying to stick around, see what happens at 7:30. They pulled one of the anchors from Telemundo to replace Leon. And then I'm trying to think, who did they have later on in the night? Because it wasn't the Telemundo guy. They ended up getting somebody else later on. It wasn't Leon. So you're going, whoa. And it was radio silent for that whole weekend from NBC Washington as far as the status of Leon Harris. So your man right here with what I posted online, because I said the comment, I posted a still shot image that I took with my phone of Harris. I shared a video clip. I ended up going viral because of that. And a bunch of news media outlets were picking up on it. Wasn't what I was intending to do. I was just expressing my concern and frustration at the same time because, like, I respect Mr. Harris, want nothing but the very best for him. So we had some people that heard what I was saying, and they too thought back to the history of Leon Harris. And wait a minute, didn't this guy get like 2 DUIs? Didn't he flee the scene of an accident? And eventually the cops caught up to him. They arrested him, and just that whole embarrassing ordeal. Turns out he was under the influence. Like, yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, he was sweating profusely, stuttering. He just seemed piss poor drunk when we saw him around that period, and then he was off TV for a little bit, and he came back, yeah, drinking problem, because he did an exclusive interview. I think it was with Dorian Gensler or whatever, or Pat Lawson Muse. Can't remember which one of them it was. So you're like, so all the signs back then, when you see what was happening now, you're going, you couldn't help but go as a viewer, 2 and 2 here, 4, not looking too good. So you had some people that had that mindset that I had. If it wasn't some type of alcohol abuse, then maybe it was substance abuse, some form of pain medication or whatever, because he did injure his foot some weeks back, and he was off of television as a result of that. Right? So you're just like, ugh. But then we had some people that were under the impression maybe this dude had a stroke. Some people thought he had a stroke. Some people thought that no, something weird happened, and that's why. And it was interesting because, and I didn't talk to my professor about this, but I definitely want to make sure that I pick his brain on this next week. But I did talk to some fellow classmates of mine because we are in television production, and like all this semester I've been learning different things about many key positions and everything, one of those being exactly what the technical director does, another being what does the floor manager do, like different things like that. And from talking to my wife, talking indirectly with a friend that knows a friend who used to work for NBC many years ago. Okay, like, what is the proper protocol here? Because if this guy is showing up between, you're trying to tell me that between the technical director and or the floor manager, nobody was able to pick this up before this guy went in front of the camera. Nobody was aware of this condition before he went in front of the camera. And if they were aware of this condition, how could they allow this to happen? That was like just so mind boggling. And shout out to those of you out there that actually said, wait a minute, how was this able to air? How was this man able to be put in front of a camera in this condition where it was obvious, whether it was substance abuse or alcohol, like whatever, just he's off, obviously. How was he allowed to get in front of the cameras? And some of the classmates that I had spoke with and everything, we pretty much were all in agreement. Yeah, like perfect scenario, like in the workforce, like no, he shouldn't have been allowed. So, we all kind of came to the same conclusion that, and again, this is just our personal opinion, no affiliation whatsoever with NBC, Washington, all that. I shouldn't have to say that, but you got to make sure that when you're just saying your personal opinion, you got to make sure you're letting it be crystal clear. So can't nobody be like, well, they said, like, no, it's just a personal opinion, and it could be wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. Definitely won't be the last. But unlike some people, if I make a mistake, if I miscalculate, if I misspeak or misspoke, whatever, man up. I apologize. I know how to issue apologies and all that other good stuff. But I was myself and my friends, we all kind of came to the same conclusion that, well, based on what we've learned this whole semester in television production, if somebody is in this state and knowing the positions because we've practiced working in them, so we know what they're all about. Yeah, if the floor manager and or technical director isn't on top of that and they just allowed this guy, that's gonna come back on them. And if it's not a case where they get a write-up and or a possible suspension, or even worse, they get fired, like basically some type of disciplinary action is going to come in. For it to not happen, it's kind of one of those, ooh, what the hell? But we all were in agreement. Yeah, somebody should have known what was up before this guy went in front of the camera. So I was trending for those respected reasons, So it was interesting seeing how we had some people that agreed with some of the things or a lot of the things that I was saying. Other people took the position of, yeah, no, I think maybe it was a stroke or, some type of a medical emergency, something weird's going on with him. Nothing of the substance abuse nature. I think it was, this is what was happening. And then we had others that, and I read to you the tweet that I put out earlier. There were others that felt I was attacking Leon Harris. And it was like, where are you getting that impression from? It's like, nobody's attacking this guy. I literally said, pray that this guy is okay. Like, what the hell are you? Right? Very weird. And then we had another group of folks that this was really annoying. And the fact that there were some people that were upset over the fact that I was trying to call people out on this BS was baffling to me. But we legit, we had some people, and shout out to my buddy and Julian Cannon. I know he can relate to this very well because he works hard for his interviews. He works hard for the media opportunities that he's able to get, photographs that he's able to take with celebrities, from the interviews and everything. And he's proud of his work, and he should be proud of his work. And when it's all said and done, you want that recognition, you want that credit for your work, especially when somebody else decides to come along and try to pass off that work as their own. So, in the instance of my tweets about Mr. Harris's state, condition, whatever you want to call it, the video that I posted as well, we unfortunately had a group of people that were taking my stuff, resyndicating it as their own, and not giving credit where credit was due. And all I said to these guys was, hey, look, I'm not asking, for that much. But if you're going to use my photo that I took with my phone, and you're going to use my video that I took with my phone, at least give credit. Like, you don't even have to do a hot link, right? You don't even have to do a coded HTML link thing. Like, you can at least, credit Lee Sanders in parentheses or whatever, and do it that way. And there was a couple of people who I blasted out in private messages or whatever. And how did they respond? They either blocked me, they either, if they didn't do that, it was just unresponsive, but they were still posting on their account, like little BS like that. And I'm just going like, what the hell? And there were actually legit those that when I reached out to them, they're like, you're absolutely right. Very sorry about that. We'll make sure that we cite you and all that. Like, no problem, no problem. Hey, did you learn anything new that you can pass along to us that we can share with the audience there? We'd love to. So I appreciate those that had did it right, particularly the guys over there at journalisms.com. I say it like that because that's how you got to emphasize it. They did a fantastic job, not just citing me, but they went a step further because they actually had did an interview. And there's a huge update on Leon Harris. This is why I'm going on and on and on about this and everything. But there was, in regards to journalisms, they did a fantastic job in reaching out. I think it was them that had reached out to NBC Universal. They reached out to a local communications director, I think it was, for additional comments about the situation. And they had nothing to say. I'm actually looking at it right now. If you guys can bear with me a quick second here. Yeah, shout out to who said this? Who said this? Yeah, it was our friends over at Journalisms. They reached out to Brian Potter, Vice President of Communications at NBC Universal Local, responding to an inquiry from Journalisms. They messaged, "We have nothing to share at this time." So again, it went pretty like, what's going on with this guy? Then we go into today. Now, here's the new update. Then we go into today. I'm watching the 4 p.m. news. Keep in mind now, it's been what, 3 days? Almost 4. So we get a new update about this man's status and everything. And the statement that is read on air is, "We have an update to share with you about our colleague, Leon Harris. Last week, Leon appeared unwell while anchoring in News 4 at 6. Leon will be stepping away from the anchor desk to focus on health issues. We here at NBC4 and you at home care deeply about Leon and wish him well. We thank you for your concern." It's actually because when I read that, I'm going, okay, so he's taking some time away, gonna whatever's going on, he's gonna kick its ass and come back better than ever. Okay, great. When I read it to my wife, she's like, "Oh, he's done." Wait, what do you mean he's done? Oh, I think he's done at NBC4. That was kind of like a nice way for them to make him exit, without firing him per se. Like, wait, you really think they like, nah, that's not the impression I was given. I'm given, no, he's just stepping back. He's gonna take care of himself. Like, he'll be back. She's like, I'm not really sure until I see and hear different. Otherwise, I think he's done. What do you all think? You agree with the wifey there, or you think no, he's just taking some time? So that's where we stand. So that's why I ended up trending and all that. I wasn't trying to trend at all. I was just minding my own damn business, just doing like I normally do. Whatever I'm watching, I'm live tweeting, posting, whatever the hell you want to call it. And then it just seemed like the world freaking blew up. It was just crazy what had went down, man. But no, seriously, I wish Leon Harris nothing but the best. Whatever is going on, I really hope he's able to nip it in the bud, kick its ass, and come back stronger, better than before. Whatever's going on. Um, some people pointed out, they're like, "Hey, this guy is 63 years old. For him to continue to have these issues, as honestly, and this isn't me saying these things, but these are some people going, look, he's had substance abuse issues before in the past. He's 63 going on 64, and he's still having these issues. Again, this is how some people feel. They're like, NBC just needs to cut ties with him already. Look, I don't know if we need to be operating like that, but hey, to each its own. Hey, switch it up a little bit. Speaking about getting back to good health, kicking ass, all that good stuff. Big E, leading up to tonight's Monday Night Raw, Big E did a interview where he had talked about his future. And it was a really great piece that he did there for the Players Tribune and everything. And talked about the success of New Day, the original idea for the group, New Day evolving over the years. And as far as his future in wrestling goes, I mean, he's been very big. He's been very consistent on being so transparent with the community about his health status and everything. Right down to the point, his promo tonight. Hey, until I get cleared, right? So he's still very optimistic and everything. And if you've been following him on social media, you know he's been looking up different stem cell treatments and all that. But here's what he had to say in an interview with the Players Tribune about the future in wrestling, his future in wrestling. You know that thing I said earlier, how I'm someone who spent his past not being able to picture a future? I can picture one now, which is ironic, I guess, since I broke my neck and can't wrestle. But I'm at peace. And if that's truly a wrap on my in-ring career, I'm excited to explore the paths that are opening up for me in its wake, whether it's working for WWE outside of the ring, or it's hosting or acting or voice work or filmmaking or so many other things. I feel like there are still so many parts of myself for me to discover. I feel like I've spent the last 10 years with Woods and Kofi on this amazing, life changing project, trying to perform a version of wrestling that's in the image of all things we love. And now I want to find out how far I can stretch that project past wrestling. I want to see if I can actually create some of those things we love. So, very interesting, very beautiful, very inspirational, very uplifting. Here's a situation where he could have every right to feel bitter, feel cheated, feel whatever emotion. And instead, he pretty much is taking the high road and is looking at it a half glass empty, half full. It's looking at the brighter side of things. And that's the type, let me tell you something. When you have that type of an outlook on life, you will definitely go far. You will definitely go far. You will go much farther as an individual. You learn so much more about yourself in certain aspects of diversity. And it seems as though Big E has really, really found himself, truly found himself as an individual and evolved in more ways than one. I know we as fans, oh man, I hope he comes back. And, I've been very consistent, which for me, it's always been the hell with the wrestling. Your health comes first above anything else. Your health comes first. Take care of that. Do what you got to do and let everything else just fall in place, right? Whatever's out of your control. If you feel me, you can only control what you can control. Whatever you can't control, it's like it's out of your hands. Like it's pretty much up to faith. Or, You know, faith and fate. I mean, really, when you stop and think about it. So, the irony of all this too is the fact that Reg Holland still gets to this very day, which is unfortunate because when it's all said and done, it was just a freak accident that occurred. That's all it was. It was a freak accident that occurred. Speaking of freak accidents, you think about what had went down there over the weekend with that Jaguars game against the who was it, the Texans, and just the way that all had played out. That was a nasty hit that Azeez Al-Shaair did on Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence. I saw that hit. It was funny too because when I first saw the hit, it didn't really register. I saw it, I went, ooh, but it didn't really register with me until I was in between classes earlier in the day. And I ran into a classmate of mine and he goes, Lee, did you see that hit by Azeez? Like, remind me? The Jaguars game. I said, briefly, but show it to me again. And so he pulled it up on his phone and, he was talking with me because he's a huge Jaguars fan and everything. And we were talking about it. I said, yeah, that hit was pretty nasty. Like, he ran for 6, did Trevor Lawrence, sacrificed himself. So pretty much, hey, no reason to hit me, yo. No reason to hit me. I'm giving myself up. And the hit that he took, concussed, pretty much could not finish the game. No telling what's going to be going on with him for the upcoming game, the next game. But you see that hit. And as I mentioned earlier today on my other show, because I read, I'm aware of the apology that Azeez put out and everything. But my whole thing is, wait a minute. Let's pump the brakes here. Because something everybody seems to be missing when they're talking about this and everything is, well, how did Azeez react after he got up? It wasn't a position where he immediately went over to Trevor Lawrence. Hey, are you okay? Are you all right? Stayed with him, tried to help out with the EMTs, try to help put the guy on a gurney and or whatever. It wasn't any of that at all. If anything, once he was done with the hit and everything, he pretty much was in a celebratory state until you had a boat ton of Jaguar players that was ready to kick his ass. And then he was really freaking so I didn't like his body language after the hit. I know accidents happen, but where I judge you the most is okay, what happened after the hit? How did you respond to that player? Did you try to lend them a helping hand? Did you try to check on them at all? And for at least from some of the footage that I was able to see, if it's different, if there's something I'm missing, y'all let me know. 'Cause I'll gladly watch it and I'll correct myself. But from what I saw, it was just mm. Combine that with the fact that he was on the sideline some weeks back, elbowed, whoever. And you had another incident that happened before that earlier. But this is, when you look at this particular incident, this is one where, if you're on top of your football, you're going, well, this is unprecedented. This is very uncharacteristic of this player who happens to be a captain. Well, first off, we definitely need to strip him of that rank. Definitely need to strip him of that rank. He needs to earn that rank back, as far as I'm concerned. The talk about suspension, yeah, I agree with that. To hear people say he needs to be suspended indefinitely, nah, I don't know about all that. Well, let's come on. First time offense? No, no. If you want to suspend him for the rest of this season and you want to suspend him for half of the 2025-26 season, go ahead. No pay, go ahead. I'm down with that. But suspending him indefinitely? No. No. I'm quite sure you do the suspension the way that I'm suggesting, and you really hurt that player where it hurts the most, they're going to remember that painful lesson and they definitely not going to do it again. Let me tell you. I do agree with Azeez from this standpoint. Anybody that is taking this news and they're using it to fit their own narrative, Islamic phobic fears and race baiting, if they're going in a direction where they're using it to be very biased towards him and painting him in a negative light and all, I think that's wrong. If you want to just go with, look, this was a bad play, the way he reacted, Azeez did, you need to teach this guy a lesson. Look at the other stuff that happened in the past. You definitely need to send a strong message right here. No, he needs to be suspended. Do it for X amount of games. Like, okay, we're not making it a personal attack. We're not making it a personal crusade to gaslight this individual right here. So I do agree with him that there is that ugly side of the media, sportscasters that have their own agenda that are painting him in a worse light, a worse light. It's football. Shit's going to happen. It's a physical contact sport. We've made so much great progress over the years with the equipment, understanding what's happening with CTE and all that. These players, particularly in football, when they give themselves up, you got to do everything that you can to adjust accordingly. And look, when the tape is played back, mofos are going to be able to figure out, okay, was this intentional, or they're going to be able to tell. They're going to be able to tell. In this particular case, though, it was just that was a bad hit. I've seen some pretty bad hits. I've seen worse hits. I've seen much worse hits than what I saw over the weekend with that Jags game. Um, to the point, Lawrence, Trevor Lawrence, very lucky. All it was, is a concussion, right? Because I mean that really could have been much worse for the young man. But yeah, those are my thoughts about that one. We were talking about that women's IC bracket earlier. Let me just give you guys a update here. So Dakota Kai is in the finals. She is awaiting the winner of Zoe Stark versus Raquel Rodriguez versus Caden Carter. And then remember, next week we've got Lyra Valkyria, Zelina Vega, and Ivy Now fighting one another. I'm looking at the bracket for looks like we got Alba Fire, Kari Sane, and Natalia is also going to be fighting as well. So I wonder if that's going to play out on SmackDown. I have to wait and see. I think that's SmackDown. I think that one's SmackDown. We'll wait and see. But that's the updated bracket for that one. Shout out to my people in the UK and Ireland, as WWE Network is going to be canceled in those respected areas. In the meantime, content will be free until the end of the year. So again, just kind of get you guys caught up to speed in those respected areas. WWE Network is coming to an end in the UK and Ireland with its content free for subscribers until the end of the year. Remember, January 1st, WWE making the move to Netflix. So that's pretty cool that you guys are able to enjoy free content. Hey, it's only going to be for a couple of weeks, but hey, you get to enjoy it. And that's what's up. Shout out to Juice Robinson, who reportedly was injured during the latest round of AEW Collision tapings. Looks like Fightful Select is reporting that he suffered an injury. He was spotted on crutches during WrestleCade weekend with his left ankle wrapped. So hopefully Juice Robinson will, when he's good and ready, issue some type of a public statement letting people know what's going on with him and everything. What exactly is the extent of that injury. Meanwhile, Edge, Adam Copeland, gave an update about his return. He recently did an interview saying that his brain forgets that he's 51, but his body quickly reminds him. Oh, Lord have mercy. But that he feels good. He feels ready to get back at it and get to being busy again. So maybe it's safe to say we'll see him first quarter 2025. Maybe we'll see him around February. Maybe that's safe to say. We'll see how it all plays out. Meanwhile, Nikki Bella, she commented on the end of her relationship with that Artem Chesvig. I'm not gonna even try to pronounce that last name, but the guy that I'm talking about. Remember, They recently got a divorce after he was arrested back in September, basically for domestic battery. However, his lawyer claimed that he was not the one to blame, and Nikki ended up speaking about this a lot more on her podcast with her sister, talking about the end of the marriage, and said she's focused on her son right now. Um, she commented on, now let's break this down in regards to ex-husband's lawyer claiming he wasn't the aggressor. She said, when you know the truth, nothing else matters. When some of you would come to me and tell me what people were saying or what was out there, it would affect me in some way. But because I know the truth and I actually lived it, it didn't have a big effect on me because people weren't there that day. People don't know what I've gone through, what I am going through. You're always going to have people assume things and say things. When they get fed lies, you're going to have people believe things. She also touched upon the subject of why she feels that her marriage failed. She said, when it came to our relationship, it's sad, but things haven't been great for a long time. I really played it up that things were a lot better than they were in the public eye, which I have regrets in that, because I felt if I could put this person on a pedestal, and maybe if this person hears it enough, what I believe in them, they can believe in that themselves. They can basically believe in themselves. We were so public, and I felt I wasn't being heard at home. So maybe he would hear me out loud in the public eye. In the end, we weren't bringing the best out of each other. We probably should have walked away a long time ago. So in the end, what happened would not have happened. So it's always sad and all that to see a lot of this stuff happen. I appreciate her being so open about this with her audience and with the wrestling community. Because honestly, let me tell you something. It's really none of our business. I don't like dipping my toe in this type of water. Uh, but I do feel at the same time that when one publicly talks about it, then it's a case where, okay, well, you know what? It's game because they're talking about it. Okay, so we can, but it's unfortunate, right? It's like this is the last thing you want to be thinking about of your favorite superstar. Now, look, I don't care who you are. I know there are people out there that's not a fan of the Bella twins, but to just hear that there was some piece of garbage of a human being, of a man that was being abusive to a woman, you just go, no, 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 no. You are a punk ass, you know what, for putting your hands on a woman. Like there's no excuse. Now, look, at the same time, I know that there is, this person's side of the story, this other person, and we're never really gonna know the definitive truth about what's going on here. One thing that obviously we can speak on that is a fact: these two just did not click. They couldn't make it work. They couldn't even make it work for the sake of a child that they have together. They couldn't even make it work for that kid. So that pretty much tells you all you need to know. And it's unfortunate to see some of our favorites. This would almost be, I mean, I know there's a lot of Trish Stratus fans, but this would almost be right up there with finding out that the guy that she's been married to all this time is just an absolute dick. And Trish has pretty much just been tolerating it this long because she's been trying to do everything she could to, keep the family together. Her girls are young and all that, right? Right. Her daughters are young. So she's trying to do everything she can to keep them all together as a family, at least until they're of legal age and they maybe move on to college, whatever. And then she can pretty much, okay, now I can drop this deadbeat of a husband. But, it just is a constant reminder that at the end of the day, we look at our celebrities, those that we look up to, and we look at them as celebrities, athletes, musicians, personalities. It's a reminder that even those that we admire and respect have their own flaws. They're not perfect. You know, so many of us live in this fantasy land it's just perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. Everything is just, what do you got to complain about? You got all the money in the world and you got this, you got that. And look, when Anthony Bourdain died, that shit fucked my head up. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Cause I'm like, man, you ate food from all around the world. You ate with so many great celebrities that included at the time President Barack Obama. He had a really great hit TV show. It spun off really great series, all that, and you offed yourself. If that dude can kill himself like that, I mean, that just lets you know that, like, hey, look, you have all the money, you can meet all the people, you can network, like, but if emotionally, spiritually, that foundation is not one, you got some fractures in there. Ooh, watch out now, because it's going to eventually come out, and there's no telling how it's going to go down. I'm still reminded, by the way, of that. God, I think it was a Miss America model from a couple of years back. We talked about it here on the show. She passed away. I think she jumped off of her balcony. Homegirl, it was a sister. She had a lot of good stuff that was going on for her. A lot of positive stuff that was going on for her. And she just, damn, I was like, really? Really? It was like that. It was like that. Some deep stuff. Some deep stuff I know. We'll switch it up a little bit. Don't worry, we'll switch it up. Let's see. Also, shout out to James Harden. James Harden had a very, very cool kick-ass dominating NBA performance as he has become, this went down over the weekend now. I don't know if y'all aware of this, but he became the only second player in NBA history to make at least 3,000 3-pointers. The only other person that's ahead of him right now is, he makes it look effortless, Steph Curry. So that is just amazing to hear. It was a historic night that James Harden had against the Denver Nuggets, as he scored 39 points, 11 assists, 9 rebounds. Jesus. I mean, that is just right. I love me some James Harden. If I had one thing to complain about in regards to James Harden, my whole mindset, just thinking back to his career and all that, it's just always been, look, when he is focused and he's healthy, he's in shape. And I mean, he is just laser focused. He is just determined. Oh man, you can watch out. When everything's cooking on all cylinders, watch out. Where I push back on him a little bit is, well, yeah, I ain't happy, so I want out. And if that means I gotta stop working out, I pick up some weight, so be it. Whatever I got to do to get up out of here, that's what's going to happen. That's probably like the only thing I don't like about Harden, which I kind of feel hurts his legacy a bit. Like, right down to the point, whenever he hangs it up and you're thinking about future NBA Hall of Famer, yeah, I think he'll go in, but he's not going to go in first go round, because of what's going on with him from those previous years, and how he's basically powered his way out of the state for the team which he was playing for. That's just me personally. That's just how I feel about that, right? I mean, for sure, when it comes to my respected NBA Hall of Fame, at any Hall of Fame for that matter, if you throw a name at me and I'm like, Hall of Famer. But you throw a certain name at me and I hesitate, like, nah, yeah, you probably not gonna go in my Hall of Fame. If I hesitate, you probably not gonna go in that first rodeo. It's kind of like, okay, who else we got? Give me another name. Like, oh yeah, they're going in for sure. Yes. Right. It's kind of one of those type of deals. So, but that is just unprecedented to hear, man, how he's turning back time like that. That's what's up. That's what's up. Seeing a couple of notifications here. Okay, we're good. We're good. I was just making sure I was on top of whatever was going on. Shout out to Ashley. Ashley showing me some love. Shout out to her. Box office numbers. Let's talk about that real quick because I was paying attention to the Moana 2 sequel. And man, that thing brought in some really damn good money over the Thanksgiving break, going into the weekend and everything, which reminds me, one of my classmates was like, "Are you gonna see Sonic 3?" I'm like, yeah, I definitely am gonna see it. I just haven't seen the second one. I saw the first Sonic. I haven't seen the second one. He's like, yeah, man. He's like, man, that Sonic 3 is gonna kick ass. We're like, yeah, I can't wait. Like, it's gonna be good. And you know, my Moana 2, it was almost a Disney Plus series. I'm not sure how many of you guys were aware of it. It was almost gonna be a Disney Plus series, but after certain executives, ended up checking it out, they were like, yeah, wait a minute. Think we're kind of missing out here on some serious money that we need to take advantage of. Let's actually put this in theaters. But so far, Moana 2, $389 million box office all time, top animated debut weekend. That's the honors that it gets. That is a fantastic feature. And when you add up what Wicked, Gladiator 2, you just combine all of the money that's been coming in from all three of those films from over the Thanksgiving holiday weekend. I mean, my God, you're looking at about at least close to $6 million between the three films. That's what's up. That's what's up. This is the type of resurgence. This is the type of jolt that the movie industry needs, especially trying to get people back into the theaters and everything and remind them, hey, there's a reason why you need to come to the theaters again. There's a reason why, because this is good, right? Make people feel like they're not blowing their money, that it's actually money well spent, right? Especially in a day and age of inflation and all that crap, right? Because I'm like this. If you can get me into your movie theater, despite the fact that I have a 72-inch flat screen TV, custom sound bar, sound system, if you can get me to ditch all that and come see your movie in the theater, you got some good shit that's going on. You're doing something right. Okay. You're doing something right. Don't hit me up with the comic book movie stuff. Look, I'll always be there for the comic book movies. But even at my core, I love some variety. Give me a mind twister, psychological thriller, or give me a horror joint. Give me something that, like, whoa, that's original. Okay, that looks fresh. I'm down with that. Good job. Good job. It warms my heart to hear that. Because we need to go back. Because I know ever since the pandemic, there was like, I don't know how it is for you all in your respective neck of the woods, but I know for in the DC metropolitan area, there's been a few movie theaters that have shut down. And it's like, whoa, didn't think these guys would close. What the hell? So it's nice to see that that they're making a comeback here. And did I tell you guys last week? I don't think I did, but at some movie theaters, apparently, you can pay one large sum of money and you can serve yourself popcorn. And apparently there's like this machine that does the popcorn. It puts it in the bucket for you. It butters it and all that good stuff. You just pay a small fee. Well, I won't say a small fee, but you pay a fee to be able to get all the popcorn you want. You're pretty much hooking yourself up. I love the idea of that. I seriously love the idea of that. You know, it's weird because when I sometimes think about the movie theater, right? You're talking to somebody who, as a child growing up in the 80s, I still remember either people, waitresses and all that on roller skates. This was actually the case for me. Again, as a kid in the 80s in Chicago, some movie theaters that I went to, you know, pull up, drive through with your car and all that, movie theater, look at a big old monitor, all that good stuff. You still had people on roller skates that would bring in your food and everything, right? And you think about that same concept when you go to Sonic Food, right? I'm still getting used to, even though it's only been happening like a handful of years now, I'm still getting used to that whole concept of when you're trying to order food, you're no longer waiting for that food. You pretty much just go sit in your seat in the theater and somebody brings you your food. I try to link it back to Sonic Food and how it was as a little kid, but it feels so weird to me. I don't know if you guys feel weird when somebody, especially that awkwardness where it's like, well, I guess I gotta tip you now, huh? Because you brought me my food. I guess I gotta tip you, right? I don't want to be a dick, so I guess I gotta tip you. It's just he's like, you're not trying to be cheap. It's just I wanted to get the food myself, right? Like I can remember sometimes when I would go to the movie theater, I would like try to order whatever. And they're like, "Oh, well, you can go have a seat." I'm like, no, that's okay. I actually want to get the food myself. I want to. No, no, you got to go sit down and I can't. Like, no, no, no. We'll bring it to you. It's like, oh, okay, okay. It's like I can't wait for the food and just you're gonna have me watch 20 minutes of trailers anyway that I probably have already seen it or I don't care about. So I was like, I really don't mind just waiting right here, but okay, whatever. So it's but to hear that you can serve your own popcorn, serve yourself your own popcorn at some of these theaters, that's like that's badass. That's badass. All right, so we're at about the 1 hour 53-minute mark. Let's go ahead and let's call it. Programming notes, gonna be taking it easy for the rest of the week, honestly. Unless there's some breaking news that comes about, I'll definitely come on through social media and react live to that news. But it's got to be like, whoa, But one thing you could keep your eyes out for, stay connected on social media. Probably later this week on the YouTube channel, I'll be uploading a unboxing. I got this really cool Magneto Marvel figure that I want to show off to you guys, but I want to make sure I film that and it's going to be a sweet piece. I'll try to be short and sweet with that one. We'll probably do like about 8 minutes, 9 minutes tops for that video. You guys will like it. Try to give you guys some really cool gift holiday ideas and everything. By the way, go vote on that poll. You got about 11 hours left on X/Twitter at the RCWR show. I want to know, were you able to find great deals on Black Friday and or Cyber Monday? So go check out that poll. Let your voices be heard. The poll is very easy to find. As soon as you pull up my profile, you can find it like right there because I just reposted it not long ago. So cast your vote. I want to keep that poll going at least until next week's round of shows and react that way and everything. Hey, shout out to everybody that's been following me on X/Twitter, by the way. I must have spiked about probably about over 50. I try to do my best to see like, okay, is this a bot? Is this I see I was getting a lot of follows though from a lot of folks in the DC metropolitan area, and rightfully so because of what all we spoke about at length, involving that NBC piece and everything. So for those that have followed me from locally here from the DMV, appreciate you guys big time. Also, shout out to my friends in the New York area. I was looking at the audio analytics of the show a couple of days ago, and as far as states goes, New York is in the top three states that's been representing listening to the RCWR show with Lee Sanders for the past couple of months. So shout out to my people in New York. Love you guys tremendously. I mean, our New York audience, it's like it's a weird split when I look at where the majority of our audience is coming from in North America and all that. uh it's like a majority is coming from New York, and then I'm seeing Pennsylvania. I do see Maryland and DC on the list, but they're a little bit further down. Good numbers for the DMV region, but much further down. So New York, Pennsylvania. I wish I could remember the third state as well, because after the first three, then I think rounding it off, we go rounding it off, we go DC, Maryland, Virginia, and all that. So love you guys up in the New York area. Definitely keep on representing. Be kind, rewind. Check out previous episodes you might have missed on demand and on the downloads, especially wherever you get your podcasts. Just search the RCWR show. Get at me all throughout social media. I got the X, I've got the YouTube. I'm also on Blue Sky. Use keywords the RCWR show. And until next go round, my pretty babies, I'm wishing all of y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. I will see you guys next go round. Peace, y'all.